So I went to Mount Shasta. If you guys have ever been there, it is crazy. And it's funny is because I was making another video and I was mentioning it, but I wanted to go full in depth because I was driving from Austin to Eugene, moving to Eugene, which I didn't really want to do, but that's a long drive. And it was taking me at first when we were going up through Utah. My mom came down. We were driving to up to Utah, and we stopped in like Flagstaff, I think. And my friend hit me up. He was in Havasu, and he said, "Hey, come visit me in Havasu. Go fishing." And it was weird. It's because I woke up that morning and there was a road that went straight across to Havasu. So I was like, okay, that's fine. I don't know what's in Utah. And I've always wanted, I said in another video earlier when I was in Austin, I think about, I don't know, 2 weeks ago, like, I was like, I want to go to Mount Shasta again. Because the first time I went to Mount Shasta, I couldn't get out of the car. The anxiety was it was like so intense. And I think some people, they say it's like either you get good vibes or bad vibes, but like for me it was just eerie. It was too eerie. I'm very sensitive, so it was really, really, really. I got out and I was like, I can't do it. I felt like I was like going backwards, and my mind was like all messed up. I couldn't. I was like, some people say they lose track of time, whatever. So this time I wanted to go, and it's funny. I wasn't planning on going. We were going to Utah, and then we went to Havasu. I went for one day, and then I looked, and it was like I looked at maps the next day, and it was like the only way to get to Eugene was to go through to uh, Mount Shasta. I was like, that's so freaking weird. Like I wasn't planning on going, and I said in another video that I wanted to go, and it's like people always say the mountain pulls you in, and it was like it pulled us in. And even when we were going again up through Mammoth, there was another way you could go. It was quicker, but by the time we were going, we had to go through another way because it was dark and my back light doesn't work, and I didn't want to get pulled over because I got pulled over on the way to Austin, and they searched my car because they thought I was high, and I wasn't, but they thought I was high because I was so tired. I was swerving in and out of the lanes. So they searched my whole car. So I'm like, I don't want to, I already have the back light out. So we had to go to this other spot, and I went, and then I look again the next morning, and it's like maps is like the only way through is Mount Shasta. I was like, okay, well, we'll stop for a little bit. We stopped for a little bit, and this is, I was withdrawing from shit called 7OH, which is like gas station heroin. It's like and I had to relapse. And that's another story. I talked in another video. And so it was like the worst anxiety. I just like I stopped creating videos. I didn't go to the gym for 10 days. And then we stopped for one night, and then I was like, I want to go again. I want to go. I didn't feel the energy. So I wanted to go to the top. So I went to the top of the mountain, and then there's these like kind of cults. I think it's called I Am or something. I think I Am movement, and they were like 30 of them. And my mom is so weird. She's like she's really sweet, but she's kind of clueless sometimes. So she walks out. I was with my dog, and I didn't feel anything at the mountain. I just saw these people like all in white, and they just look weird, And my mom walks in the middle. They were doing some like chant, and she's just like clueless, like doo doo doo, walked through. I was like, I wish I was videotaping her because it would be so funny. And she walks through the middle, like just like a clueless, like older lady, like walking through the middle of them chanting, and she's not even like knows what's going on. And she comes back, and I was like, "What are you doing?" And she's like, "You saw me walk through the middle." I was like, "Yeah." Did they look at you? She goes, "Yeah, they give me a very happy vibes." I was like, "Yeah, because they're a cult, and you were just walking in the middle of their chant." And that was funny, but I didn't feel anything at the top of the mountain. I just didn't feel anything. And if you've heard of Mount Shasta, like the energy vortex, like there's energy there. Like, and I'm sensitive to energy in general, so if there's energy, I'll feel it. And I didn't feel anything really. I just saw the colt, and it was pretty. Like you could see like the mountains from the other side, but I didn't feel anything. But we drove down, and then my mom's like, "Oh, look at this! Like, this is where I camped." And I met this lady who said she was abducted. And there's so many stories. There's like little people that live in the mountain, people getting abducted. It was weird that I looked like 3 days before we went. A guy was climbing, and he went off path. He was CEO of some company. He went off the path, and he fell down, and like 2,000 feet or something, he died. And and people have said that weird things like that happens. Like people, like they see like people that are like faceless, and they draw them to the cliffs and they die and stuff. And so my mom said, "Oh, I camped here, and this lady said she was abducted." And the next morning she was gone. I thought she was abducted, so she said she wanted to go down this camp area. So we went down the camping area, and there was no one there. And so I get out and I walk with my dog. My dog is like crazy. Like he goes after everything. And we were in this woods, and we had just been in like Mammoth Mountain, like Yosemite, and it's pretty. But when you go to like Mount Shasta, it's like complete difference. We went to Mammoth. He was running around crazy looking for squirrels. When we were in Mount Shasta, it was like so eerie. He wouldn't move. He like stopped in his tracks, wouldn't make a step, wouldn't like go after anything. And I'm sitting there, and it's just like it was so quiet that it was like my ears were vibrating, my head was vibrating, and everything emits vibration. Like energy is emitting a vibration and a frequency. And it was like I could have sworn like I was any moment I was gonna see a freaking an alien or something, or someone was gonna abduct me. It was like I was just, I mean, it was peaceful in a way, but it was freaking scary in a way. And we walked around, and it was like the woods kept drawing me in. It just kept like I wanted to keep going in and in and in. And I kept looking back, and I was like, I'm gonna get lost. I have no idea where I'm at. And my dog was like freaked out, like he wasn't moving. He wouldn't like move very much. And I'm sure there's animals in there, but he loves chasing animals, but he just wouldn't move. And so the woods kept drawing me in and in. And then there would be these like stones that like people would arrange but looked like a fire pit, but there was no fire in them. And I'm wondering like why are these like stones arranged weird. But like usually when I'm in Mammoth, you'll hear this like kind of like it's like quiet noise. It's so quiet it makes a noise. This was like so quiet it was vibrating, and I don't even know how to describe it. But if you've ever been to Mount Shasta, everyone has stories. And I wanted to stay the night there, but I was like, I don't know if I could do it dark, when it was dark. Man, it was so creepy because it was drawing me in, and it was almost to the point where I couldn't like decide. I couldn't like make my own decisions. I was like being drawn in without me wanting to. I kept going further and further in, and that's where the energy was. And I thought it was always at the top of the mountain. When no, it's actually in the it was in the bottom because it was still towards the top, but it was in the woods, and that's where like the energy was. So I didn't see any people inside the mountain. I didn't see any UFOs or anything, but I felt something, and I felt like something was watching me the whole time, and it was just so freaking eerie. And my dog was, animals are very sensitive, and they're intuitive, and I think I'm a very intuitive person, but animals have to be much more intuitive. And when he's not running around and he's just sitting there, like he was like afraid to go after, like he didn't want to leave my side and he wouldn't move. Like there was a point where I just stand still, and because I was paralyzed, and then he would stand still, and he wasn't running around. He's crazy. He's still a puppy. So, but I didn't see any like the Lemurians living in the mountain. I didn't see any aliens, but I mean, compared to the first time I couldn't get out of this car, at least I was able to go in the woods. And I mean, if anyone's never been there, if you're on California, if you're gonna watch this video, I don't even know if anyone is, but I would go to Mount Shasta, just feel the energy. Because when you do, you realize that there's more to life than TV and movie stars and all this shit that they're telling us. Because when you feel something like that, you know there's something more. And we know with astrophysics, like that energy, and Tesla and Einstein, they all taught us about it. Everything in the universe, like this phone is vibrating atoms. Like you are seeing me just based off the light that is bouncing off me. You don't really know what I look like, and our eyes are perceiving blue, but like dogs don't perceive as blue. So what color really is it? What do I really look like? I don't know. Maybe I look different. Our brains perceive something to look like something. So why when like the Indians saw like the first boat, they couldn't even like understand it because the brains couldn't comprehend it. So I, when you feel something though, that's why like feelings are, when you feel something, it's like you can't deny it, or you can't rationalize it, and you can't really explain it because there's no words to describe energy. I think how do you describe something? So I don't know if you ever been to Mount Shasta. Let me know in the comments if you even watched this video. But I know there's people that have had more experiences than me, and I probably would have if I stayed the night because I'm sensitive to energy. I know, but I don't know. I think I was just too much of a wuss for that. I've already handled too much. Like I almost died 6 months ago. I was like, maybe I should just like chill out a little bit. So I don't think I would be doing shrooms in Mount Shasta. But if you did, let me know in the comments. And I know that it's real because energy doesn't lie. Just like when you meet someone who has bad energy and you're just like, I don't know, I just don't like that person. They were really nice. But anyways, let me know in the comments if you watch this video. If you didn't, this is Dan Yule with Live Life in Your Flame. I always say Dan. I hate that name now because it's my like old diction name. I feel like it's like David Goggins, right? He changed his name. I don't know. I'm not trying to be like him, but I just Dan is like that's like the old addict me. So, anyways, let me know in the comments if you've seen this video. If you didn't, when I rambled on, whatever.